Hi, I'm Lee Partridge and welcome back to Col U TV for another midweek show. On the show tonight, we'll be taking a look back at our vital win over Grimsby Town last night. We'll also be assessing the women's season so far, including a decent start to their cup campaign. Firstly, must say a big mention and a big shout out to all those of you that made your way up to Blundell Park on a chilly Tuesday evening to watch the game, bringing back 3 points, which was vitally important. And incidentally, Grimsby's ground is the closest ground to the sea in the English Football League. So there you go, a little fact for you. But you probably knew that. Right, let's kick off the show and take a look at those highlights from last night against Grimsby. A fantastic victory for us, and in Matty Etherington's first game as interim manager after the departure of Ben Garner at the weekend. Matty praised his men for putting in a decent performance and securing a great and a very important result for us away from home. Never easy to make those journeys on a midweek game. Matty and the goal scorer Arthur Reed spoke to us after the game to share their thoughts about how it went.
Matty, your first game in interim charge, you must be really pleased with, one, the performance, and two, the fact that we got the win that we were all craving.
Yeah, the performance was good at times, really good. There was some good stuff. Backs against the wall at times as well, which you'd expect coming here. But asked the player for heart and desire before the game. The tactical stuff's important, but it's not the be all and end all. And they certainly gave that tonight to a man. They were outstanding. Blocks, the energy that they had, the distances they had to run. They left it all out there tonight, and that was the most pleasing thing for me, because they've been down in recent weeks and the results and etc. But you could see a team that's fighting for each other there.
Yeah, and that's especially so when you go behind so early to such a wacky, cruel, however you want to describe cruel. That first goal.
I think it was cruel. I'm sure people may blame Owen, but there's no blame on our part. I've got a really good view at it, and took a deflection off Will's challenge with their striker, and the ball spinning really fastly, and yeah, he can't do a lot. He's tried to take a touch of his head, but it's a really difficult one for him, and a wet pitch, etc. But he makes a brilliant save at 1-0. Makes an outstanding save, tips it onto the post, and then it could be 2-0, and then it's a tough night. So then we got a foothold in the game, I thought we played some really good stuff, created chances. The goal from Joe Taylor and Reedy's part in it is outstanding. Is what they're capable of, and I'm sure all the players will say they've certainly missed Arthur Reed.
Yeah, and you score that goal and then you score a scrappier goal, but Zach Mitchell won't mind how it came off him. It ended up in the back of the net.
Yeah, no, yeah. Don't care about them ones. The delivery's first and foremost, and the movement's really good, but the delivery from Reedy is outstanding. And yeah, we had a few of them in the first half where just getting across people could have been better. Some of the runs could have been better, but yeah, it's Zach that he'll take it, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then into the second half, they started the second half really pressing you guys, and must have found it hard to kind of get out of our penalty area at times, but we kind of dug in even when they equalised.
Yeah, again, it goes to heart and desire. They changed their shape, started with a back five, they changed to a back four, pushed people higher up the pitch, and we had to adapt to that as well as a team, as a staff, and try and get a foothold in the game. Potentially would have liked to have made the change a little bit sooner, but couldn't do that. But yeah, they were really on top of us. It was backs against the wall. There's some unbelievable blocks in there from our defenders, and then gradually as the half wore on, I thought we were more and more comfortable.
Yeah, and obviously when we get into the opposition half, we've got players that can hurt. League Two defences, Arthur Reed's certainly one of them. We've seen that with his assists, and he's adding goals to it as well now.
Of course, the goal takes a little deflection, but his initial work to get to that point is outstanding. I thought Arthur Reed was, alongside a lot of other players to be fair, was outstanding tonight, and obviously had a part in all three goals. The chance at the end where Reedy's played the ball down the outside with his outside of his left boot to Joe Taylor, he crosses, Sampson's there in the 6-yard box, just puts it over, again a brilliant move, and then as the half wore on, we carried more of a threat, definitely.
Yeah, and you yourself, you obviously didn't know until the weekend that you're going to be in charge for tonight. I suppose even although there's a few days between now and Saturday, you're not going to have much time with the lads because they'll be travelling back, rest day, and then of course travelling back up to Accrington. So you're going to have to get what ideas you want into them quite quickly. I think this week is about morale, speaking to the players on individual, collective basis, getting to know them a little bit. But yeah, there'll be some work going in there as well. Another tough away game at Accrington. Would like to see us, especially after the second half, pass the ball a little bit better. Thought we did it well first half, second half not so much, so that'll be an improvement looking ahead to Saturday, but I can't fault those players. Heart and desire, like I mentioned, was in abundance there, so that was a pleasing thing. Brilliant, thanks mate.
Thank you.
Arthur, at times, sometimes the result is the main thing, and it must have been great for the lads in the change room to get that result tonight.
Yeah, I think it's a massive boost. As you say, the result is always the biggest thing, and hasn't happened recently. Obviously, our form's been very bad. So to get a point, to get 3 points here, against Grimsby, which is a very, very tough place to come. Yeah, it's credit to us.
Yeah, and obviously before then, it's obviously been a lot happened since Saturday. Obviously with the head coach losing the job, and Matty Etherington coming in interim charge, has been a change for the players.
Yeah, it has been a big change. Obviously all the background stuff is still the same, but yeah, as I said before, you never want to see a manager get sacked. But all you can do is kind of adapt, get together as a group, and stick through times that have not been easy the last few weeks.
And obviously that character had to show through early on because, like you say, we lost the last few, and then all of a sudden we're 1-0 down after 7 minutes. So because of some real character from the start.
Yeah, exactly that. I think it did show a lot of character because I think obviously based on our position, going 1-0 down so early, you could easily fall apart, but. Yeah, I think it showed, how together we are, and to come back quickly, show moments of quality, obviously through Jaden, and through all the boys really. As you can see, we're so dangerous going forward, so we just need to do it more and believe in each other.
A lot of that danger was from yourself, obviously, with 2 assists for the 2 goals in that first half.
Yeah, I'm buzzing with that. I need to do that more, obviously. Need to get my numbers up as much as possible, but set plays is something that we work on religiously, to be fair. So yeah, obviously that was a big one, and then the ball to Joe, which obviously, as I said before, we got a good chemistry.
Yeah, and obviously going into the second half, you kind of want to settle into the half better than we did, and all of a sudden the crowd were noisy again because Grimsby got straight back at us, and were able to create lots of stuff for our defence to defend.
Yeah, I think we kind of knew it was coming, but it's obviously knowing and dealing with it are 2 different things. yeah, as I said before, the crowd, the amount of balls they put in the box, you're kind of going to be under the cosh for moments, especially at the start of the first half. But yeah, we rode our luck. But yeah, overall, I think we deserved it.
Yeah, and it wasn't just riding your luck. There was plenty of good defensive work, blocks, and making sure people closing things down and making sure we protected Owen as much as we possibly could in those spells.
Yeah. Credit to Owen as well. He's made some massive saves. Dallow, Hawley, Manny, Wills made some great blocks. They've all kind of put their bodies on the line, and shows how much we needed to win that.
Yeah, and obviously that winner came from yourself, and a shot from the edge of the box. I mean, it looked like it was on target from where we were. Took a little deflection, but you'll take any goal at the moment.
Oh yeah, it was definitely on target. Definitely on target. And yeah, I've just got to keep shooting more. So hopefully, if it's deflected, if it goes in the top corner, if it's a tap in, I'll take any of them.
And it must be frustrating as a player when you know you could be out there, but you can't be out there. You must be really pleased that you're back in amongst it now and straight back into the team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been a tough few weeks. Obviously, watching the boys training on the weekends, and then going to the games, which obviously they haven't been great. But yeah, I was just kind of raring to prove a point. And yeah, I think I've done that today.
Yeah, and did it help you that you were able to play in the EFL Trophy game to so you weren't 3 weeks without a game? You had that game in between.
I think it did a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I still feel very leggy now, but yeah, it definitely probably helped because obviously 3 weeks without a league game is a big thing. So to play in that game probably gave me maybe the little extra edge that I needed.
Great to hear from Matty and Reedy there. Another big performance from Arthur, a goal and 2 assists. Hopefully we can take that form into Saturday where we face Accrington Stanley away from home. Now let's move on to the women's team who have made a phenomenal start to the season. They're unbeaten so far in 7 games, having scored a whopping 60 goals along that journey. Chris caught up with Women's Head Coach Luke Worley to chat about his team's start to the campaign.
Look, thank you very much for coming to chat to us. An amazing start to the season for the women's team. 7 games, still unbeaten on a fantastic run. What have you made to the start of the season?
Yeah, it's been good. The past few weeks we've come up against some new challenges. We've obviously played higher opposition in the County Cup, the BBC Essex County Cup, which was a massive challenge for both myself as a head coach, but also the players. Managed to get the result out of that, which was really, really good. We didn't expect to get the victory, so that's an extra bonus. And then in the league, it's proven its challenges with teams lining up differently against us. This past weekend, very, very defensive. We found it very difficult to break them down, but still managed to get the victory. So it's pleasing that we're still finding the results, and hopefully over the next few weeks we can continue that run.
Well, let's talk about a little bit more about your cup run. First game of the season, of the cup season, 3-0 win, and talk us through your celebration for the first goal as well.
Yeah, well, I didn't celebrate so much as what some of our parents that are supporters on the side of the pitch, but yeah, a massive celebration from myself and the coaching staff. We kind of bided our time with it. It was 0-0 at half time. Allowed us to change some personnel, bring some players on that maybe would start in other games, but tactically we kind of held them back to try and make an impact in the second half, and absolutely they did.
And what are your aspirations for the cup this season? How far do you think you can go?
Well, County Cup is a tough one for us because of the level we are with the teams. We have the likes of #Billericay, who won it last year, that obviously play in a higher level. They play in the national women's. So realistically, the County Cup is, can we go as far as possible? The League Cup, which we've got coming up in November, again, higher opposition. But we want to see how far we can go in the League Cup. Within the County Cup, it's an extra bonus, to be honest, for the girls to challenge themselves against higher opposition every week.
And just going back to the league as well, last game, 3-0 win.
Yep.
As we mentioned, you've played 7 games this season so far. You scored 60 goals across those 7 seasons. I mean, that's an incredible achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm fortunate that we've got a good mixture of young and experienced, and I think the experienced players are really supporting the younger players. But saying that, 3 of our players have all scored over 10 goals, and they're all of our younger players, so can't take it away from them that they're really performing. Gives us a headache as coaching staff because week in, week out, we want to make sure everyone gets to play. Last week we rotated. Some of the players that hadn't started for recently, and on the bench as well. You know, we changed our goalkeeper at half time, making sure that everyone's getting minutes.
And lastly, let's just talk about the support for the women's team as well, which has been incredible over the season so far. Obviously, you had to move the venues as well to accommodate those supporters. What do you make of that support? Did you expect that much support?
Not so soon, to be honest. With fantastic opportunities that we were providing the team. You know, away from home this weekend, we were at Headingham's, and there was probably nearly 200 people there supporting both teams, but it's fantastic to see. At home, I think we're continuing to get more and more. Obviously, in November, we're going to be changing back to Shrub End due to refurbishments of the changing rooms at the Garrison. But yeah, we're there this weekend, and we're hoping to see again the numbers that we are seeing. You know, some of the supporters groups from the clubs are really supporting us as well, both on social media with, you know, fantastic comments and sharing scores and things like that. So it's a massive help.
And obviously another league game coming up on Sunday against Stones FC. What's your expectations from the game?
Well, they were in the league above last season, so, you know, they're in second. They have lost a couple of games. However, we can't take that for granted that they've lost a couple of games. We haven't come up against them before. I would imagine they'll be quite attacking, but we will hopefully, you know, we'll get the result, but we need to go about it how we have professionally, setting up how we have and not taking anything for granted.
Some fantastic performances and results from the women's team, and hopefully that unbeaten run continues when they face Stones FC on Sunday at the Colchester Garrison, and that's a 2 p.m. kickoff. Keep an eye on all the socials to see how that game develops. That's about it for today's show. Once again, a big shout out to everyone that went up to Grimsby last night, and it's another away day for us as we travel up to Accrington on Saturday. The tickets information are on the socials and will be on our website, all the usual channels, of course. If you are heading to Accrington, wishing you safe journeys to and from the game. I'll be back next week for the midweek show and all the updates on what's happening in and around Colchester United. Until then, have a great week, have a great weekend, whatever you're up to. It's goodbye for now.